All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Black and Gold with Goosey, Vibe Captain Matty V, and Higgy Kruger. This is HiBruiNation, the unofficial home of your Boston Bruins. Woo! Tonight, we have for you the kids getting their chance. Geeky as a first liner, Swayman's late season play, Pasta making a case for the Hart Trophy, and the next bench boss for the Boston Bruins. Well, fellas, the season is over.
Sucks.
We have officially been eliminated. Oof. What a rough year. What do we got to say about it?
I blame you
Not much that
for
hasn't
them
already
winning
been
the
said.
game. Sorry to cut you off, Kyle. I blame you for them winning against Carolina. I mean, thanks for that. Why'd you have to go?
What a great game. I don't care, dude. I was rooting for Carolina the entire time I was there. Kara was pinching me and making fun of me. And she just goes, no, we can't cheer for them. I'm like, dude, the season's over.
10-game losing streak. You decide to show up, and now they're playing like a team.
That first line played well. I mean, it was the first line got all the scoring. It was Geeky, Lindholm, and Pasternak, and I mean, they played great together. And then everyone else basically just stopped the puck from entering the net. That was the goal of the game. I don't think Carolina was really playing to their best potential. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, really don't think that they were playing the hardest that they really could have with the playoffs looming. So I think that contributed to something.
Kyle, I cut you off. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say that there's nothing to say that hasn't already been said. I feel like as a collective, we've had the nail in the coffin at least for a month now. So it's wonderful that we can finally stop the almost death of the Bruins, and now it's the official death of the 2024 Bruins. But yeah, it's tough. I don't want to get too excited about how fun the last game was, because then you end up in like the Buffalo Sabres fan territory of like, I feel like every year those guys are always just gassed up down the stretch, like, we're building, we're getting hot, and then they come out and just fall on their faces.
I hope they're gassed up. I hope they're gassed up for tonight, dude. I'm rooting for the Sabres tonight to beat the Bruins, because I want to be back in that fourth pick slot. Although there's still an opportunity that we could move up. I just would rather it a little bit more solidified. By the way, for the in-season competition, which one of you schmucks had me sweeping in a week where they lost like 3 in a row?
That wasn't us.
Are you saying that there's no integrity to this? That is a bold claim. I'm going to need you to take that one on board.
I am.
I would never.
I absolutely will make that claim. There's no way in hell I was ever going to pick them to win those the 3 games that week when I was out on
that's
vacation.
what we had written down.
The sheet doesn't lie.
That's what we had written down.
The sheet is editable.
We gotta go by that.
Assholes.
I don't know what to tell you.
You assholes, every last one of you. By the way, thanks a lot, because Vogel now has a slim lead on me. He has taken first place in the in-season competition.
Say it again.
Yeah, off some crap.
Say it again.
Bull crap, dude. You're at 60.29%. I'm at 60. Kyle, I don't even care. You're in last place. You're at like 58 point something. I got so mad. Yeah, put the dunks class.
Bow down. I told you I was making a comeback. We got 2 weeks left in the season, and guess who's on top?
Ooh, you suck.
That's all I gotta say. I told you guys it was coming. I said buckle up, and look what's going on.
Yeah, buckle up. Yeah, rigged against me.
Kid, I don't. Give me the belt.
Yeah, I'll give you. I'll give you something.
Give me the belt.
Let's get into the bear down breakdown, fellas. All right, for those of you who are living under a rock and aren't even remotely close aware to this, some awesome news broke today. Again, it was during the Washington Capitals game against the New York Islanders. Alexander Ovechkin has officially broken Wayne Gretzky's goal scoring record. He was the lone goal for the Capitals in the game in the 4-1 loss to make it 895 goals. And what a friggin' goal it was. I don't know if you guys had a chance to take a look at it. What do you mean? It was nasty.
What
What the hell? It was exactly what you would have wanted, buddy. He scored on Ilya Sorokin, and I believe he was like the only goaltender that Ovechkin hasn't even scored on yet.
No,
and then that's how he did it. Come on.
It was like they showed some kind of, it was some graphic. It was like it showed 5 goalies who are actively playing that he hasn't scored on, like with a minimum of 3 games, and he was just on that list. But he'd never scored against them, but I hate him. So
Oh man, you are bumming today, dude. That's such
no. I get it's a big deal, and I get it's a big deal,
it's
but
huge. Oh my god, that voice! I don't know who did that.
That's tough.
But that definitely
That's
wasn't
tough.
me. Come on,
Yeah,
how do you?
probably the same person that submitted your picks for the other week.
Yeah, one of you schmucks and losers, bums.
Cam, if it's on the sheet, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, we just relay what the sheet says.
You
The
could.
sheet
It's
don't
okay
lie.
to have bad picks. You've done it before.
I didn't. Yeah, right.
Now you're just
not bad. Yeah, please.
Now
Against
you're just,
those teams, right?
Now you're just slacking.
Sure. All right, guys. I'm never gonna let it. I'm never gonna let that one go. I'm so upset about it. You guys are bums, losers. Yeah, first place. Yeah, I'll show you a fucking finger. The kids got to play. They finally are calling up some of the young talent down in Providence. We got to take a look at Fraser Minton last night against Carolina. And then, Fabian Lysell has played 6 games since being called up. I don't know. I think a little too late, don't you think, to kind of give them their opportunity? I mean, the season's been lost for quite some time. I don't think they should have even attempted to try and make a play for the playoffs. I would have liked to see them up sooner. Albeit, I think Fraser definitely needed a little time getting used to the system down in Providence. So I'll give him some leeway there. But I think it's a little too late. What do you think?
I think that they should have been up basically as soon as the deadline passed. I think that was the equivalent of them basically just throwing in the not throwing in the towel for the year, but more or less throwing in the towel for the year. At that point, you might as well learn what you truly have in these guys. But yeah, Minton's a different story. It's like you want to get him. One, it was like the whole visa issue with him being able to play here to begin with, but then 2, obviously you want to get him acclimated to the system. But let's be honest, we said Lysell should have been up here in what? January, February. It's like, what do you stand to lose by not giving him a shot? It's like the team never had offensive jump from the go. It's like at different points throughout the year, we were just like, why are the kids not here? Why are the kids not here? It's like, now you're going to bring them up with complete garbage time. So yeah, it's good to see them, and it gives us like some storyline through the absolute dregs as we get to the end of this disaster of a season. But it should have happened a while ago.
He has 7 games played. It's not like he's hurt. He hasn't hurt the team. He hasn't benefited. He's a minus. Actually, he's a 0, but he was a -1 at one point. I mean, he's not hurting. He's not helping. But I mean, like, he's getting NHL experience. And I mean, for him to not hurt or help you in that manner and just be stagnant and just gain that experience, I think is better than anything. Because if he was hurting you, then we would have problems, right? So I think that's a good thing for him. To gain, and especially, I don't think he's playing on lines that have a whole bunch of talent left. I mean, yeah, who's Nadinov and, I can't remember the center that was playing with them, but not bad. I'm not going to say Lysell is out yet. I know I kind of swung early on that and said I'm out on him in our group chat, but, realistically speaking, no, I think it's good that he's getting that experience, and I think he needs that. So I think he has a lot to. I've seen a lot of him last night when I was at the Carolina game. He needs to work on a lot, I think, in terms of supporting the puck. But not bad. You can clearly tell the kid is talented and that he wants to score a goal. Liked what I saw out of Fraser. Good, fast, quick to the puck, and I don't know. Seems like he's a pretty smart, defensive-minded kid, like defensively offensively minded kid. So
yeah. But when we first got him, that was the big thing. He's young, he's quick, he's going to be good. I don't want to say he's going to be a stud, but he's going to be good. The Lysell thing, they waited too long to bring him up. He sat down in Providence for too long. Even if he does have a good rest of the stretch, I think that the Fabian Lysell era in Boston is done. I think that they have to. I mean, if you think that he has talent and he has potential, I don't think that he does. I don't think that him being called up for 10 games at the end of a shit year is going to help or prove that he's ready. If they thought he was ready, then why let him sit down there all year? I mean, they brought him up once for one game in the middle of the season, then sent him right back down.
Mm-hmm.
It just I don't see him being, and I'm thinking as someone who in their brain like the team's not going to. I mean, we get a while. We get a while before the team's going to be back where we want it to be.
I think
so. Maybe keep him and see. I don't know. I don't think that he's. I don't think he has a spot on a talented roster.
He definitely went from the guy that was your top prospect and basically the only promising offensive guy in your pipeline a few years ago to, well, hopefully maybe he can be something. Like the shine is completely off, but in just talking about what you have as what he is now, you either gotta get something out of him and play him and hope that he can develop and become something useful, or I mean, he's got no value. So you're gonna, you know what I mean? Like you're kind of hosed here. Like you said, you left him down there so long. He's not really gonna sort of fit into that group of guys that people would trade for on like the promise anymore. So it's like you've almost hit the point of inflection in the career where it's just like, okay, now you're just you need to be a known commodity by this point. And if you haven't shown anything yet, then like the stock is just dropping. So it's
they
like,
also didn't help the stock at all by keeping him.
It's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's like he comes up and sucks, and then the bubbles burst, or you keep him down there too long, and it never has a chance to even get going.
Well, even still, and I don't know if we talked about it before, but like, what does it say to the other teams that the Bruins have kept him down there for that long? Do they not trust him? Do they not think that he can play at that level? And what does that do with other teams with his his trade value?
I think you got to look at it a little bit deeper than that too. I mean, he was drafted in an era where we already had right wingers. We had people at his position. We had left wingers. It was difficult to kind of call a young kid up on a veteran based team, provided that situation. So people were like, oh, let him continue to develop down in Providence. Also with that being said, you need to look at it as like, you also dried up, the talent down in Providence. So how does that also impact his development? One stat I did see is that like, Marchand's first 20 games as a Bruin, he had 0 goals, 1 assist, and he was a -3, 20 penalty minutes. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to be a Brad Marchand. I'm not. I'm just saying, like, if that stat holds true and maybe you give him another year, let him play a full season up here and at the NHL level, because then the following year, Brad Marchand had in 77 games played, had 21 goals, 20 assists, 41 points, and he was a +25. Albeit that was a better roster, in 2010, 2011, they won the cup. But take a look at that, and I'm not saying Lysel's going to get 40 points, but if he gets 30, that's progress in my eyes. Then you can start to say he can build on something. Or he turns out like an Oliver Wahlstrom, who's just like, maybe he's just a bona fide NHLer. AHLer, yes, sorry. So
I was going to say, come on.
Sorry.
Come on.
We've done this dance already.
Sorry. But
no, I totally agree with you. And like, we shouldn't be calling his career because of 7-game stint so far. Like my thing is like, I don't really care what he's done in his time up this season so far. It's more of like the greater body of work and like their willing or lack of willingness to bring him up, because it is like, well, they just not trust this kid at all, and that's why he hasn't seen it. But you're right. It's like at this point, like, you need to let him play, give him real time, give him an actual job, let him get into a position where he knows what his role is supposed to be. It's a little more solid. He doesn't need to worry about getting sent back down 37 times. But again, like, there's no value left, I don't think. Like, I think whatever value you get is whatever you can make him become for your team.
Something to add to that. So go ahead, Vogel.
Oh, no, I would just say, I mean, maybe saying the Fabian Lysell experiment in Boston is over was the wrong way to phrase it, but because again, going forward, Yeah, I mean, going for who knows what this team's going to look like next year? And even if Cam seems to think that it'll take 2 years and this whole not a rebuild thing, like they'll be competitive again. But I don't think he has a spot on this team if it's competitive. I don't think they're going to be any better next year. They might be even worse. So at this point, I mean, I guess you guys have kind of swayed me a little. Like what's the harm?
Yeah, I
What's
mean,
the
I
harm?
think
Play him
ideal.
to try to boost his value a little bit and try to maybe a draft pick or I don't know.
And maybe he does become a contributor. Like
He could.
that'd be wonderful.
He could.
Like,
I don't think
it'd
so.
be
But he
great.
could.
Yeah, I just haven't. There hasn't been any flashes that make you like want to bet on that.
Yep.
But there's only one way to know at this point, and it's not letting him sit in Providence for another year.
Well, what I think it all depends on what Sweeney does in the offseason. And I know Alex has kind of pointed it out in our group chat, and he has said on several occasions, like it's not exactly a strong free agency year. There's still some good second, third line talent, which is where I think the Boston Bruins need to focus because I think their first line is pretty much set. Like, the only arguable position that you would say that they need a lot of help in is maybe either the center or the left wing, one of those two. So it all depends on if we'll get to this in a minute or in a few minutes, but can Geeky sustain what he's doing right now? Because right now, if you watched him last night, he is playing like a first line forward. Now, whether that's sustainable or not, we won't be able to tell. But I hope so. He plays extremely well with Pasternak. And if you looked at Lindholm last night, I mean, Lindholm, I think, had 2-3 points last night, and that line was vibing very, very strongly. I don't think there's issues on the defense. I don't think there's issues at goaltender. The biggest issues with Boston right now is their offensive ability in tandem with the coach. So I think they need to find the offense because they lost more on the offense from 2022, 2023 than they did anywhere else. You're still going to have McAvoy. You're still going to have Lindholm. You're going to have Zadorov, who's been a lot better. Hopefully they sign Yuki Haru, who's, I think, been the best gift to Zadorov. And then you have Lowry and then Andrew Peak and hopefully Parker Wotherspoon as well. And even Ian Mitchell is looking decent at depth, so there's options. I don't think the issues are at defense. Like, you know what I mean? That's just it. But to Hickey's point, I just want to backtrack a little bit to the roles is that it is dependent. Huh? Yeah. What? Yeah. You trying to cut me off here?
We're cutting off Ian Mitchell. I can't.
No, you don't.
It's a good family podcast. I can't have Ian Mitchell talking.
That's fine. Who are you on? Riley Tufte? Yeah, fuck that guy. But to your point, on the role, yeah, he's just down in Providence. But to your point on the roles game is like, they did come out and say early on that they wanted Lysell to work on his defensive game. And I'm just like, you don't put Pasternak out on the ice to play defense. You put defensive players on the ice with Pasternak so that Pasternak can go score a goal. Lysell's a goal scorer. You know what I mean? He's not a two-way forward. The Bruins need to move away from this paradigm of everyone needs to be a two-way guy, but you can't always have that. You do need scorers. And you need to sacrifice a little bit of defense in order to do that. And I think you have the defensive structure. Well, I'm sorry, not the defensive structure. That'll be seen with a coach, but you have the defensive personnel in order to facilitate that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. And I would say that we used to have the defensive structure to support it. Seems this year not so much, but years prior for sure. Yeah. And again, it's just like I think that's burned us in the past. Like, I think you lost guys that you tried to make into that, tried to ask them to do things that just really weren't what they should be used for. And you ended up either getting nothing out of them and they go somewhere else, or they just never even got off the ground because you tried to make them be a Bergeron light or any of these other guys that they've had. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not everybody's going to be that guy. So it's like, if you can just let them play the game that they're supposed to play, like that doesn't mean be completely irresponsible either, but have a known role, have build the line around it. Yeah. It's like a great value version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's Lindholm.
You get an Ocean State job lot.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, we can shit on Elias Lindholm. Speaking of him, and just to him real quick. Yes, he's not having the year that we all wanted from him, right? He's not. I think he has like 40 points or something like that. You would have expected 60 points from a guy like him signing him, but on a team where the whole entire year they have not done anything, I'm willing to give him another year. It's like Lysell. I'm willing to give another opportunity. Zadorov, I'm willing to give another opportunity because of all the injuries and everything that's happened. I'm just willing to give these guys another chance at it.
Zadorov too. I think as the year went on, obviously the penalties slowed down. And I think with all the injuries and everything, he has gotten for all the shit we gave him. I think that he got it together and has been much better lately.
Definitely the most improved.
Not great, but yeah, if we were when we do our award show at the end of the season, I think that he's up there for most improved.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he almost looks like 3/4 of a hockey player now.
Higgy gives no credit. No credit here.
Well, before he was a potato, and now he's almost a hockey player. So
Higgy Kruger coming at you for your dreams. Growth. Oh man,
Lindholm, I feel like I should be, but I'm really not worried about him. Like this year's been bad, but it's been bad for literally everybody that's not Pastrnak and Geeky.
I don't know why, but I have really been. If anybody is really coming at Lindholm for just like, I don't know if it's just a gut feeling. Like I just feel like this is just a down year for him, and it's going to bounce back. I have nothing to base that on, but I just feel like this is just an off year, a struggling team, first year in a new city. Like I just feel like it's a bad year for him.
I feel the same.
Yeah,
and I have nothing to base it on.
I mean, his overall stats, he has been declining over the last few years. Now I can say it's a trend. Like right now, he is trending downward. But who's to say that he doesn't get 60, 70 points? If he gets 60, 70 points next year, okay, I'm happier than a pig in shit, dude. Like, then that means he's doing his job if his faceoff percentages are there and if he's playing the two-way role that he was brought in to basically play, I'm happy. I don't need him to score the points. I need him to be a facilitator on the ice. I need him. If he's not going to score, he needs to do other things. And I think at least he has been doing the other things on this team. He just hasn't been scoring. He has passed. But no Bruin can pot a puck outside of David Pastrnak or Morgan Geeky. So is that really him, or is that just our inability to finish? I think
kind of based on that what you just said and going back to I think that when he first came here, people expected him to be
Bergeron.
Diet Bergeron. I think that he's kind of, if not this year, because this year's been bad, maybe going forward, if he's not going to be that guy, maybe be a Diet Krejci. Like,
sure.
You know what I mean? To your point, you're not gonna be that top tier first line guy. Like maybe that's the role that he fits into instead of that premier.
Instead of being a diet Carl Soderberg.
Sure. And like I said, if he goes back to Diet Krejci, but he's winning the faceoffs as a first line center, sure, fine.
I'd be okay if he was a Krejci zero. Like
yeah. He's a Krejci.
Yeah, like a no sugar Krejci. I'd be fine with that.
Honestly, like I know we're fucking on him here, but I honestly
that was serious.
Like, I don't. No, I know, but I don't need him to be the scorer. Like we were just saying about the roles, if he can be the responsibility for that line, which then lets Pastrnak fuck off and do what he's supposed to do, as opposed to having to be the guy that is the responsible one and the one driving the line, which we saw for like a month and a half. Like, good. Get 50 points and let Pastrnak get his 100, and then I love you.
Yeah. Now, does that make him like a
your contract's worth it? That's all I need from you.
Like, does that make him by definition a 1C? No, it makes him a serviceable player that is supposed to do his role, so that way the other players in the line can do it. I think that can also win you championships too. If you have guys that can facilitate your best players, sure. Like, I think that's great. Like, you know what I mean? They said that a long while ago, people were saying you can't separate Zacha and Pastrnak. Well, I mean, that line last night put in fucking work. So I think you can separate them. And to be honest with you, I think you needed to, because Zacha needed to get going and prove that he can do things without David Pastrnak too. Geeky also needs to prove that too in a way. But
it'd be ideal, honestly, if you're able to separate them. I think that's you're better off for it. I mean, and like as far as being a good team without quote unquote good centers, like I literally just look at the Capitals this year. The Capitals' first center is Dylan Strome.
He's been good.
So like Dylan Strome, Pierre-Luc Dubois, they're 1 and 2. Yeah, but before this season, you wouldn't have been like, yeah, that's a bona fide number one. It's a guy that's facilitating well and fitting with the role. You know what I mean? Like, so it's You don't
Listen,
need to go out and get the guy. You can make something happen
Yeah.
with the right pieces meshing together.
you can listen. Look, everyone wants the McDavids, Hughes, the Matthews, all of like those top line talents, right? That are definitely like 1Cs that are not only good at centering, but they can score, they can
They drive the
assist.
line.
Yeah, they can do that. But I'm also fine with having like Pasternak or a Rantanen in tandem with a guy who can pass a puck and has a good like he said, a Krejci zero, like you know what I mean, because that's what it is to me, and that would be good. He's last player I want to call some attention to, because I know we spent a lot of time on Lindholm, and this is mainly about the young kids. Husnudinov, I think he only had a few games with Boston, 13 games. I think the 3 points -4, but I like his style. I like his grit. Again, I'm not, and it's a rough year. And so I think, the bottom 9 have problems, but I think he's going to be definitely an upside to that bottom 9. And it also makes you wonder, where's Poitras going to fit in? You have all these guys willing to show their talent. It's now going to add some competition. And I think that's good. And I think that's healthy. Inspires people to play.
Yeah, and I think that kid's been fun because he gives you something that you don't have in like the speed with which he plays. You know what I mean? So it makes it fun. It makes it interesting. And then when it comes to the X's and O's, it makes it something different for other teams to have to deal with than every player on your team being 6'2", 210 and moving the exact same speed like we did all year, basically.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. Guys, let's move on to thoughts on Geeky as a first liner. He's certainly played like it since he's been with Pasternak. But you can also look at him in the eye test and just look at how his reads have gotten better. He's still only 26, 27 years old. So he's entering his prime. I kind of like where he is right now. My biggest concern is, can he sustain it?
I don't
I
hate
think that he's one of those.
Go
Go
ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I think he's one of those guys that like maybe he can't do it on his own. Maybe he alone is not a first line talent. But again, if he works in that role and has chemistry with the guy that drives that line, does it really matter? There's been so many guys in this league that have made lucrative careers out of being the guy that's good at playing with the guy. You get the Glenn Murrays, the Matt Molsons, any of these other guys who literally built their entire career off of just being good at playing with people that are good. So if he can just do what he's already been doing, I'm into it 100%. Real quick, coming from the guy that was shooting him into the sun like a month ago, 2 months, 3 months ago. I don't know. This season's a fucking fever dream.
Before Vogel goes on his point, remember when the Islanders buried Matt Molson's like abysmal contract? Like that was nuts. Wow, what a horrible turnout like he ended up being. Holy crap!
Was it as soon as he got separated from Tavares? No, he went to wasn't it with He ended up in Buffalo and then just completely shit the bed because he got separated from Tavares and then just never existed.
Eventually, but I think the Islanders buried him too for a little while, if I'm not mistaken. Vogel, your thoughts on Geeky?
Not a ton. I think that he's been playing great. I'm fine, like Kyle said, if he's not the guy, he's the guy that works well with the guy. And that might not be on every team, but if it's working with Pasternak, keep him there until he gives you a reason not to. And so far this year, he hasn't given you a reason not to.
Yep. His speed, too, I think his hockey sense. I mean, he's got hands. I mean, another guy that impressed me last night was Vinny Lettieri. I don't think we keep him, but because, you got to make way, I think, for the talent. But, I mean, I didn't realize how fast he actually was in the skill and talent with respect to, like, his hands. He actually has. So, good for him. I mean, for me, Geeky, I think, has run away. I think he's available for the 7th player. I think he ran away with it. I was going to say Kostelic if Geeky wasn't having the year, but man, oh man, Geeky is running, and it's not even close.
I think the people that it was, I mean, I know Kyle probably voted for like, what's his name there? Brazo.
Well, oops.
Well, but no, I think the two obvious ones were either Geeky or Lowry, and I think that Geeky is pushing himself, farther ahead of the pack.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's his first 20 goal, and then it's also his first 30 goal.
Yeah.
season. Well, I mean, by extent, obviously that kind of means one cannot be without the other.
In a real tough season, he's stepped up and kind of kept it competitive.
Now for our favorite $8.25 million guy, who's been nothing but pretty much shot on for the entire year, and more or less rightfully so. I'm not going to say he's been perfect. I'm not going to say he's been what we needed him to be, but I'm not going to completely throw him under the bus. Jeremy Swayman. His play as of late has been good. He's been seeing the puck better. He's been giving credit to his teammates. His post-game conferences has been pretty good, crediting his team. I think they're working towards getting back to a positive locker room. I think he wants to get back to that. I mean, if you guys have just heard him talk, I think he wants to, to just focus on the positives and take what we can or they can out of a bad season. I think they're at the point they know it. I think he's been better. I think it's at least he's giving you hopes that this year is just a year where they're going to move on from. So I'm going to give Swayman a little bit more credit than I'm sure people want to give him.
I am a big goalie defender. I am a big, I'll be the first one to point out the team's play and how they're leaving the goalie out to dry, and there's only so much they can do. I grew up as a defenseman. I'll be the first one to criticize defensemen leaving guys open out front or being in the wrong position. I think, and this is going to sound so stupid, but I think after all the stuff at the beginning of the year, the big contract, he held out for all this kind of money. I think that for that to happen, we're talking back in October. I mean, I don't even know when he signed the contract. I forget.
September. Late September.
No.
I think so.
No, it was after the season started, wasn't it?
No, it was just before.
So, anyway, I think for all that and for holding out, and if the rumors were true and you want $10 million and they settled on whatever it was, 8.25 or 8.5, whatever it was, I think when the team is struggling, I think that you have to step up and steal some games for the team. I don't think that he did that this year. I don't think that he was bad. I'm not going to say that the entire season is on him, which some people, on Twitter or whatever, will be the first ones to jump down his throat. But I think that and this is his first year playing a full season too. So factor that in. I think that going forward, he has to be better.
Oh, there's no question in my mind.
I don't think he's played well. The whole team hasn't since the All-Star break. It's one person on the team besides number 88 who has played well consistently.
Yeah,
and when Swayman's the guy, you have to be the guy.
I'm not going to really disagree with that. Just a fair point. People harp on him a bit. His 5-on-5 even strength save percentage is a .906. Now, mind you, Korpisalo's is better at .908, but you also got to look at the matchups there and the amount of games Swayman has seen. So you got to scale it. So we got to back off a little bit. I bet you a lot of his issues actually stemmed from October to December, and because he stole you a few games in January. He stole you a game against Florida, and he stole you a game against Tampa.
I just think that if you're the number one guy and you want to hold out and get what you want to be the number one guy because you have the team bent over a barrel, you have to show up and perform.
Sure.
And again, I'm not going to say that the whole season's his fault. I think that it was a bad season for everybody, and I will chalk it up as a loss for the entire season. For everybody going forward. Now you know what it's like to handle a full workload. Now you know what it's like to be the number one guy. You know what it's going to be like taking the heat for everything from everybody in Boston. So we'll see going forward. Kyle, what do you think?
I don't have too much that I can argue with that. I would say more simply on my end is him starting to play better down the stretch of garbage time here is probably best case scenario. Hopefully he sort of gets right in the head, gets a better mindset rolling into the offseason. I think worst case scenario is it continues to be an absolute disaster blow up season for him where he's given up tons of goals, gets starts looking like a sideshow where he's trying to go out to center ice and get in fights while he gave up 5-6 goals. You know what I mean? So it's just like if he can calm down, get a little more steady going through the end of the season, and then sort of end in a better place than where he had been previously, I think that's best case scenario for the team and for him. But yeah, it's the simple fact is the team needs him to be the guy. It's like he got the money. They're not going to get a different goal. Like they're going to sink or swim on his back. So he needs to be the guy. And I'm also willing to say that it's just a bad season for him, the way it started, the way it went with the coach. Like nothing about this season pointed towards it going smoothly for anybody. So I'm willing to just say, hey, it is what it is. What can you do for us next year?
Again, hopefully a down year for everybody. Bounce, but see what happens next year.
This may be a bit of a controversial opinion, and I got into it with the guys in the chat a bit, but I think moving towards David Pastrnak, I think he's making a case for the Hart Trophy, and which is the league MVP for that player's team. I think that is different from the Art Ross, which is the player who has the most points in the regular season. These are regular season awards, and I understand that historically they may not go towards players who, don't make or teams that don't make the playoffs. But I mean, this David Pastrnak has 94 points in 77 games played for a non-playoff team. The next closest person is Sidney Crosby with 86 points on the Penguins. Like, you're out playing a guy like Sidney Crosby. I just think he has to be put into consideration for that. Like, he's not going to win the Art Ross, obviously. He's not going to catch McKinnon, Kucherov, and I think Makar are the top three right now. But if you look at the point standings, there's no other Bruin in sight of it. And outside of Crosby, there's also no other player that's on a non-playoff team that's even in sight of, like, I think 70 plus points right now. Or they probably will be within 70 points, or in that range when the season ends. But you got to anticipate Pastrnak with 5 games left, probably going to finish the season with 97, 99 points. I don't know if he gets 100, but if he does, I think you have to look at him and say, maybe that might be worthy, especially for that kind of player. Again, not the Art Ross, which is most points, but the MVP for their team. Like, that's how it's defined. That's how the award is defined. Might be a bit of a hot take.
Kai, you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I can see I don't mind the argument. And I definitely further the argument with the fact that they were only relevant for the additional 2 months that they were because of him. But I just don't think it'll ever go his way because of where they ended the season. If they were floating around the bubble and just missed it, but he dragged their carcass there. I think that you could see him getting votes, but where they finish, they're going to finish at literally the bottom 5 in the league. I don't think that they'll ever give the vote to him for that. I could see him catching 1 or 2 straight votes in the go around, but I don't think that they'll ever, because I think it sort of gets weighted the impact you have for your team. It's well, he had a massive impact, but that impact wasn't big enough to actually weigh in on the outcome of the team because they still ended up being suckbags.
It's probably going to go to Kucherov, if I'm going to be honest with you. But again, still, I just think in the way the voters think about it, I think is completely wrong. They're looking at it from a perspective of they have the total points and their team is in the playoffs. It's just I think they need to look at it a little bit more than that. Sorry, Vogel, go ahead.
I think that you're thinking as a fan. You said it a bunch of times, and Kyle touched on it. They're a non-playoff team. I'm looking at it right now. The Vegas odds, Leon Draisaitl is the favorite. Right behind him is Connor Hellebuck, which I think would probably get it over.
Actually, that'd probably be a good
one. You know what I mean? Behind him is Nathan McKinnon, and then Nikita. I don't think that he's touching any of those guys in terms of MVP race.
I guess for me,
it's
more
better, maybe, but I don't think that he's touching these guys.
No, maybe not. But all I'm saying is he's just making his case, and I think he has a good case.
I also think it shows more because he's standing out more on a suckbag team.
Well, that's the point. What I'm saying is, you know what I mean? It's crap. Like, and I think Alex brought up in 2016, McDavid had the most points in the league, won the Art Ross, but he didn't win the MVP despite having the most points. And the Oilers, I don't believe, were a playoff team that year.
Mhm.
And to me, I think that's wrong. Like, McDavid got robbed, in my opinion. I'm just like, you don't have to. Like, if you're on a craptastic team, like, you know what I mean, and you're that low, yeah, I think you should get looked at. But what have you? It's a hot take by me. I don't think it's.
I would
gonna
love
happen.
it. I just don't see it.
I never said I think it'll happen, but I think he should be considered, and I think he will be. He'll probably get a few votes. Let's wrap the bear down breakdown real quick on the next bench boss. Just real quick, who you guys think might make a good candidate for Boston?
Mike Sullivan.
Fair.
I think it's him.
Higgy?
I'm going to be honest. I don't know. I really don't know. I could see.
Higgy's like Joel Quenneville.
Definitely not that. Definitely not that. For I don't know. For stuff like this, like I like to sort of dig a little deeper and get into the philosophies behind it. But I think there's been some guys that you've seen get shaken loose that have had experience dealing with teams that are sort of in a similar spot that I could see them entertaining. I don't want it to be Sacco. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I'm all set.
So yeah, I guess I'm up in the air with where I want to land on for the next guy. I know we had highlighted a few of the others. Dave Quinn was in there, and who's our other friend? Oh, Gerard Gallant. I wouldn't mind that. I don't think, but
I've heard
That's
rumors
right.
of Tortorella, and I want him far away from this team.
no,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely not that.
He'll
Definitely
nuke
not
it.
that.
He'll bully Lysell too much. It'd be like worse than what Cassidy did to DeBrusque.
Yeah, bring
What do
him
you
and
guys think-
Babcock in together. I'm sure it'll go
What do
well.
you guys think Mark Savard's up to? Is he still up in Calgary?
I think he's an assistant coach at Calgary. Yeah,
Is he in Calgary?
I think so. I can't remember. I know he's not. I think he's on a Canadian team. He's not on a U.S. team. If I'm not mistaken, Vogel, why don't you check on that?
I'm on it. No, he's an assistant coach for the Maple Leafs. I changed my answer. I want Mark Savard.
Really, I'm on Gerard Gallant. I
Bring
think,
him home.
Oh man, no, I'm. Oh God, the Leafs of all teams. Oh God, and yeah, someone told me that they think the Leafs are going to actually win it this year. I said, yeah, right after they get knocked out of the second round.
We should look into the coach of the Blues there. He's really leading that team to.
Do not get me started on Jim Montgomery.
Yeah, we should look into that guy.
I can't effing believe it. The Blues are certainly going to make the playoffs. I want to vomit.
Or another good team, good coach, Vegas. Maybe we give that guy a call.
They need whoever they elect to be their next coach. They need to give them full autonomy to be like, you can choose your entire staff. Montgomery did not have that luxury, and I think that is the sole reason why he wanted out. So
we are not even treading. We are in uncharted waters now. We haven't been in this position in 2 decades. So the way they go about it has to be different.
100%. Oh God, yeah. All right, let's get into the big bad Bruin. All right, guys. As you all know, we always do this every episode where we pick our big bad Bruin of the week. Lately, it hasn't been players; it's mainly been fans, announcers, Todd Angeli, for always delivering a wonderful, wonderful anthem and just being a pleasure. But
our last episode, it was nobody.
No, you guys did nobody.
Yeah,
that's fair.
We said no one deserves it. So
I would have said the fan base.
I think I've said that more than
loyal.
once.
Yeah, suck bags. They don't deserve it.
These suck bad boys. What is it Kyle always said? Like these dumb fuck teams or whatever. I don't even know. It's hilarious.
Fuck them kids.
Yeah, fuck them kids. Oh, Kyle, lead us off.
I got the one, the only Sofia Jurkovic this week. Most reliable talent on the team. Had a stint in the middle of the season, had to be away from the team, but good vibes only since she's been back. As I say, one of the key contributors to what has been probably the least entertaining Bruins product that I've had to watch for
I think this is
my adult life.
the first episode we've had since she dropped. So clap it up for Sophia. She's back. Clap it up. Well deserved. Kim.
I have David Pastrnak, 5-point game against Carolina. He just continues to be an absolute beast. Like I said, he's trying to make his case for the Hart. 94 points on a team where the team is nowhere near playoff worthy. So for me, it's David Pastrnak. Vogel.
Mine is similar to Kyle's, more of a vibes pick. I have Judd Surratt as my big bad Bruin. Like we said, team has not been good. He shows up every day, does his job, tries to get the people fired up as hard as that is. He grew a beard.
I saw that. He looks good. He looks good.
Props to Judd.
Nice, guys. No sweep this week. Boo.
Ooh, you suck.
Damn. Guys, the week look ahead. I still hate you both.
I don't know why
we did nothing. We literally did nothing.
I just read what was on there.
Yeah. Wonder who put that on there. As you guys know, we have an in-season competition. Who can guess the correct amount of games? In terms of percentage.
Do we have the updated stats? Because I don't like.
I do. I have it.
Last show when you abandoned us, we didn't have anything updated.
Sorry, I was on a beach drinking a margarita, trying to forget this fucking god awful season.
Well, listen, we got a job to do. Buddy boy,
you are in the lead with 60.29%. I am in second place at 60% even, and Kyle is at 58.33%. Dead last. Loser. Loser. I need to get a
second is Cam.
Yeah, it's like kissing your sister, isn't it?
No, second is the first loser.
Oh, blow me. All right, guys, this week we got Buffalo, the Devils, Blackhawks, and Penguins. Buffalo is actually tonight at the time of this recording. We're just going to count that towards the following week. I got a loss tonight. What do you guys got?
Loss.
All right, good.
You don't have to woo that. You know what? Yeah. Lose them all.
Devils, I got a loss.
Loss.
Oh, the Hawks, I have a win.
Loss.
I have a win on this one too, and I don't love it because I would rather at this point lose. I'm pretty sure we have like the 5th or 6th pick at the time of recording this, so just keep losing. I want number 4 back.
All right, guys, the Penguins, I got to win.
Loss.
Boo, you suck.
Loss.
Boo, you suck.
Come on, guys. Hey, you have a straight loss streak? There's no way they lose to the Hawks.
Loss.
I'm trying to manifest
the last week of the year, right?
Yeah, I believe so. The 15th is the end of the regular
season.
So
these picks are do or die.
Yep. I better just break even. If Kyle goes 100%, I might actually jump off a cliff. I might actually jump off a cliff.
I wonder if that'll be enough to jump you.
Oh yeah, for 100% it will be. Because if I go 0,
we're down to the wire on this.
We're still looking for a punishment, ladies and gentlemen. You guys got to comment on these videos. Let us know what you want us to do. Do you want Kyle to just rub his ninnies on the glass at Warrior Ice Arena?
Don't say Kyle. That's bad. It's bad karma coming your way.
Do you want Vogel to do 100 push-ups in front of the Bobby Orr statue at TD Garden, or do you want me
to?
Do you want me to train surf in my underwear on the orange line? Let us know your thoughts.
That's Cam's usual Saturday night.
That's my normal Saturday night. That was me last night after the Bruins won, actually. Almost got, if Kara wasn't with me, if she would have yelled at me. Oh man. Guys, it's gonna do it for whatever episode number this is. I believe it's number 37. Vogel, why don't you take us out, Mr. Vibe Captain?
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for episode 37. Make sure you check out HiBruiNation.com for everything we got. Blogs, recaps, so much more. Make sure you stay with us during the off season too. I know we just mentioned we have one more week left in this year. That'll close the first chapter of season 1 of HiBruiNation. We'll get into our end of the year stuff next week. Kind of recap the season a little bit, and I know we have an award show coming up that will be maybe 2 weeks from now. Check us out on all social media: Twitter, Bluesky, TikTok, Instagram, everything. It's at HiBruiNation Pod. Check out the name down below. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. YouTube, give us a follow. We love you guys. Check out Don't Puck with Media, the home of HiBruiNation. Also has the Pucking Around podcast, as well as podcasts for other teams. As always, we love you guys. Always remember that Matt Vogel is in first after being so far behind late in the season. And I will not take, ever since Cam announced it, I will not take these championship classes off until it's over or until I am no longer in first place, which might be next year. We don't know. Until next time, Kyle, send us out.
Let's go bees.
Let's go.
Not go.
Bees.
Lose
Go.
bees.
Yeah, go. Yeah.
Go everybody else.
Yeah, Buffalo, New Jersey,
Yeah.
Chicago, Pittsburgh. Have a week, baby.
Go Red Sox.
See you
We
next
out
time.
of here.